Hey, it's Patricia Murphy. It's Tuesday. This is Seattle Now. Seattle elementary school students got a taste of new normal yesterday. They're back in the classroom for the first time in more than a year. That can be kind of weird. In a minute, we'll talk with a child psychologist with ideas for parents on how to help them make the shift back. But first, let's get you caught up. Seattle's Monorail is getting a makeover. To get ready for the hordes of Kraken fans this fall, the Monorail is expanding both of its stations at Westlake and Seattle Center. They'll be closed starting next Monday through the end of the month while they're working on it. If you're a regular Monorail commuter, first, get in touch because I'd love to hear from you. Second, you want to take the number 3 or 4 bus until the stations are back open. Meanwhile, the Kraken isn't the only team getting ready for fans. The Sounders say they'll allow 7,000 fans at Lumen Field for their first 5 home games. That starts with their season opener a week from Friday. There are rules, though. Tickets are being sold to pods of up to 6 people, and all pod people will have to sit 6 feet apart. And we have an ending in the story of the men's Gonzaga Bulldogs basketball team. The Zags' run at becoming the first undefeated national champs in more than 40 years ended last night with a loss. And it wasn't even close. They never even held a lead over the Baylor Bears, who went up 9-0 to start the game and never looked back. Bears beat the Zags 86-70. Congratulations all around on a great year. Please wear a mask at any off-campus parties you attend.
My name is Juan. I'm a first grader and going to elementary in-person school. The hardest part is maintaining distance. We could see a teacher in person. And we could play at the playground, and I could play with my friends. In-person school, but it's different in a good way.
Oh, such a sweet kiddo. And oh man, maintaining distance, of course, it's the hardest part. That was Juan. And he and his classmates in Bellevue have been back at school for almost 2 months now. But this week, Seattle public school families returned to in-person learning, and families will have to adjust to another new normal. It's a big transition during a strange time. Dr. Lauren Silvers is here. She's a licensed clinical psychologist who works with a lot of kids and families. Dr. Silvers, good to talk with you. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
So we have spent the past year keeping kids out of school and for the most part away from other people. Now so many of them are going back in person, and it's a big deal. What do we know about how children might react to this transition?
Well, I talk to a lot of kids all day, every day, and this is a topic that everybody is talking about. And for the vast majority of kids, they're really excited to be going back to school. They're really excited to be able to get out of their house, see their school that they've been in, some kids for many, many years, to be able to play on the playground, to be able to sit at a desk, to not have to look at a screen all day. For the majority of kids, they are really excited. And those that I've spoken to who have been at school for a while are just loving it. They're really calming down emotionally. The anxiety, the apprehension, the uncertainty of when they get to go back to school has kind of tempered a little bit. And they're, for the most part, really doing well, and not just doing well at school, but really doing much better at home. This pandemic has caused a lot of family conflict and parent-child relationship dynamic issues.
Absolutely. Dr. Silvers, we have been spending an awful lot of time with each other, so I'm sure the parent-child dynamics have been strained. And I'm so glad to hear that you're hearing from kids that they're excited about this transition. And we do hear a lot of times, right? Kids are resilient. And I wonder, for the ones who may not be doing as well, or maybe having some anxiety about this, who may not have the words to express how they're feeling, how can parents help them? What kind of conversations might they want to have right now with their young ones?
Yeah, so for the parents of kids who don't feel ready to go back to school, who are nervous about going back to school, a lot of it has to do with the new unknown. School is going to look differently, and if they've been doing remote learning, their teachers have been telling them that school is going to be different, that the desks are going to be set further apart, that they're not going to be able to see other classes on the playground. They won't be intermingling. They'll be in masks all day. School will be different. And so the more information we can get kids about what this new normal for now will look like, that is a way we can calm them down. And also not assuming that these changes are what's going to cause the anxiety. Asking them, what are you nervous about? What questions do you have? Who can we get the answers from? Can we ask your teacher? Can we ask other kids who have already been back in school? So empowering your children to be able to define and articulate what it is that they're nervous about and help them feel empowered to get the answers and feel more confident and capable of addressing their worry.
Yeah, and we heard that from Juan. He said at the top there, school is different, but it's good different. And I would imagine for a lot of kids, this change might be made a little more manageable when you're taking cues from adults who are comfortable in their situation. Because a lot of times kids are trying to figure out what we're thinking as grown-ups.
Absolutely. And I do see that. It is the kids who have parents who are more cautious, more anxious, more unsure about sending their kids back to school who are echoing those sentiments that it's not safe. People won't keep their masks on. What if people don't social distance? What do I do if I need to take a drink of water? Then I have to take my mask off, and I don't want to do that. So what do I do with that conflict? I'm going to be thirsty, but I don't want to put anyone in danger, and that's producing anxiety. So again, getting kids more information to make them feel comfortable, because it is going well. For the vast majority of kids, being back in school in person is going well.
Sure. I would imagine over the next few weeks, the excitement of returning back to the classroom might temper just a touch, and things might feel kind of annoyingly normal in this scenario. How can we best approach giving our young kids space to open up and share about their days?
Model it. So, yeah, I had a really hard day at work today. I had to go into the office for a meeting. I had to wear a mask all day. It got really hot and kind of gross, and I really wanted to take it off, but then I remembered that I can't. So setting an example, modeling what it's like to not be 100% okay with this new normal, but recognizing that I'm really happy that I get to go back to work. So you think about the trade-off. I would rather be at school in a mask than at home in front of a computer all day. I'd rather be able to play with my friends in my class on the playground, even though it means I can't play with kids from other classes right now. And that's another really important point, that this is temporary and focusing on the here and now. So this is now. This isn't forever. We are wearing masks now. We are social distancing now. Things are getting better. We're not going to have to do this forever. And reinforcing this idea that, this is temporary.
Yeah. And I love the idea of commiserating a little bit about what a drag it is to have to spend your day in a mask, because that is real.
It is very real, especially for kids, especially for younger, impulsive kids who they get hot and they just pull it down without even thinking about it, and who are going to need a lot of reminders and a lot of redirection. And so also being really sympathetic and patient with them. Yeah, I get it, buddy. This is hard, and it's hard for me too. And it's not forever, and you're doing a great job. Lots of praise, lots of acknowledgement for what these kids have gone through this year, and lots of high fives for them for being really resilient and going with the flow and all the changes we've asked of them, and also the back and forth. I think we're going back to school in the fall. Oh, we're actually not. I think we're going back to school after Thanksgiving. Oh, we're actually not. And so, this perpetual letdown may be part of the anxiety some kids are feeling, like, oh, are they going to tell me that it's not real again? And I've heard that a lot. I don't believe it until it actually happens, is what kids say.
Yeah. So a lot of props, a lot of rewards for making it through and being resilient through all these challenges. For parents and teachers, too.
Definitely. Oh, parents and teachers are saints through all this.
Dr. Lauren Silvers is a licensed clinical psychologist. Thank you so much. Good to talk with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Seattle Now is produced by Clare McGrane, Caroline Chamberlain Gomez, and Jason Pagano. Diana Opong produced today's show. Matt Jorgensen does our music. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you tomorrow.